incident, what would it be like to be choked? What would it be like to be not to be able to breathe?
The death of George Floyd sparked protests in cities across the US and many parts of the world.
It's just another murder that's been caught on film, but millions of people are murdered for their race everywhere around the world.
When all lives are valued equally, then all lives will matter.
Forms of racial prejudice is unacceptable.
These orphans need your help and require your assistance. Don't let any of these orphans go hungry this Ramadan. Please donate.
Don't let this be the end. Keep the hope alive.
Anything you spend, He will replace it. He is the best of providers.
The holy month of Ramadan has commenced, and Imam Hussein TV is committed to providing its cherished viewers with a diverse array of high-quality educational content and special live broadcasts from the sacred land of Karbala. Among our primary broadcasts from this holy land is the live recitation of Quran directly from the holy shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, offering your home a beautiful ambience of spirituality from the holy land of Karbala. In appreciation of the sponsorship for this particular live broadcast, we have curated 3 exclusive gifts of gratitude for our esteemed donors. The bronze package includes water from the holy grave of Mulla Fadhil Abbas alayhi salam, the original turba or khak shifa, and a piece of marble from the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The silver package includes all items in the bronze package, along with a piece of carpet from around the holy dariha of Abu Fadl Abbas salawatullah alayhi. The golden package comprises all items from the silver package, plus a holy flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, blessed on the holy dome and dariha of Imam. To reserve your preferred package and sponsor the broadcast of Imam Hussein TV, kindly contact our Karbala office via WhatsApp using the number displayed on your screen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, dear viewers at home, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good morning, Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to Morning Baraka Suhoor Special, exclusively live on Imam Hussein TV 3. It has just gone 2:35 here in London on the 19th of March, 8th of Ramadan. I'm your host, Ali Fadhil, and from me and everyone here at Imam Hussein TV studios, it's very early in the morning. We wish you all a happy and blessed Ramadan Kareem to you and your families and friends. Now, if you're wondering what this unique show is all about, well, Morning Baraka Suhoor Special is aimed at giving you, the viewer, the opportunity to sit and reflect upon the last hours of the time available for you to replenish and eat a final meal before starting a new day of fasting. Thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity. Tonight, brothers and sisters, there is a crossover that we didn't know we needed, but definitely has a huge value. At IHTV, we have numerous great shows that cover an array of different topics and themes. And Ahkam SOS has been airing for years, allowing you, the viewer, to gain an insight into the applicable laws that govern our day-to-day life. I'm not going to give too much away now, but let me tell you what's on today's show. That's right, Ahkam SOS stars Sayyid Mohsin Shah and Sheikh Ali Maash are with me in the studio as we discuss the importance of Islamic laws, their application in modern society, and also share a few funny stories along their respective TV journeys. And just after the hour, Speaker's Insights is back, and I'll have Sheikh Ibrahim Ansari on the line discussing his experiences, thoughts and key topics he will be delivering this Ramadan. And as ever, we end our daily show, we end the show with a daily recommended dua recited by Hajj Amr Al-Kadhimi. So today, the Tuesday, 19th of March, 8th month of Ramadan, or the 8th of Ramadan, we're talking Islamic laws and its application in modern society today with Sayyid Mohsin and Sheikh Ali, as well as Sheikh Ibrahim joining us later along with Quran highlights and of course the recommended Ramadan dua. Stay tuned. Hi there and welcome to the show. Islamic law or jurisprudence is a science that takes years and years of dedication to master. Jurists such as Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi and Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Sistani they've essentially literally dedicated their lives to deriving an Islamic way of life sourced by the Holy Quran and the narrations of our holy infallible Imams. That being said, is the application of these laws easy in modern Western society? Are they a hindrance to our modern way of life? Do we belittle these laws and just brush them under the carpet and think, Allah is all forgiving, so He wouldn't mind if I miss this particular ruling? It's encouraging that one of the main programs, even outside of Ramadan, on Imam Hussein TV is Ahkam SOS, a 1-hour show whereby our resident alim, shall we say, Sheikh Ali Maash, answers as many questions as he can during the show, all fiqh jurisprudence related. And the topics vary so very, very much. That's why I'm delighted to have with me on the couch the stars of Ahkam SOS, Sheikh Ali Maash, and presenter of the show, Sayyid Mohsin Shah, to discuss the relevance of the show to you, the dear viewers. Firstly, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
And of course, Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid Mohsin.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Why so formal?
Sheikh was formal.
Okay, fantastic. Look, lovely to have you both on the show. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. I told you about this show earlier today, and I know it's quite late. You told me exactly 2:30 a.m. is the time that I actually go to sleep.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
But really, really appreciate your time, both of you, on this show. Before I start, what I'd love to do, I when it comes to like my first question, essentially, I'm going to go to you, Mohsin.
Yes.
And Ahkam SOS. Overall, how long has it been airing? How often? And why is it so unique? By the way, just to let you know, I have to do this every single time. We have Shai.
Oh, nice.
Is it this
Shai.
one or is it that one? I really like
with
this
the
one.
sheen.
So with the she, yeah. So Shai with the she. And I'm going to be pouring you tea whilst you give us an insight into Ahkam.
So Ahkam SOS, I believe we started 2017. I think we started.
Roughly, yeah.
And Christmas
pre-recorded.
Season 1 was probably Christmas time.
2017.
2017,
wow.
yeah.
18, 19, 20, 20.
Yeah, go on. Do
6
the maths.
years.
Yeah. 6 years. And back then it was pre-recorded. So me and Sheikh will come and we used to do what they call in the media bulk recording.
Bulk?
Yeah, we'd do 4 or 5 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
Remember, Sheikh?
Nice.
Yeah, we used to start at probably 11? Or no, we'd start at 10:30 and we'd finish probably at like 2. Then we'd have lunch or whatever, a break. Or we'd start after lunch, 1, 2 o'clock, and then we'd go all the way down to like 5, 6.
And so what prompted you to go live?
I think the show needed to go live. We had about 4, 5, 6 seasons before we went live.
Roughly, yeah.
We did about 2 years, and we had تقريبا.
I like that.
We say in Urdu as well.
Oh, is it?
We had, I think, about 100 episodes we had before we went live.
Yeah.
The show needed to change.
Yeah.
And I think it was Ramadan. We had one Ramadan where we pre-recorded, and every day there was an episode. And then one Ramadan, it was like, we need something totally different. We're going live.
Really?
I was like, Sheikh was a bit worried. I was a bit concerned. Like live, it's a bit more difficult, but alhamdulillah, we did it.
Well, I mean, it's more or less the same concept. You still get the questions, you filter the questions and screen them, and then you. But then Sheikh's got a bit of time to answer them. Well, he knows. Oh, does he know some of the questions that are going to come up to him?
I'll let Sheikh answer that.
Sheikh, do you know some of the questions that are going to be asked, or would you say some of them are kind of given to you beforehand so you can prepare for them, and some of them are actually on the spot live?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Well, initially when we started, of course, I was just trying to prepare questions, because that was how it worked. We prepare questions for the ahkam books, like the Maraja' Risala Amaliya, prepare the questions, and then Muhsin will ask them and I'll answer them. And I've got the sheets, the answers in front of me. But for the live was very challenging, because I had to go back, revise the ahkam books, download some apps that has the Marajah's views in terms of the different types of ahkam, or the chapters of Risala Amaliya of each alim, like Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Bashir Najafi, Ayatollah Fayyad, Ayatollah Hakim, late Hakim rahmatullah alayh. So it was a bit challenging to be able to gather all this information and be able to answer each separately. So alhamdulillah, the beginning was a bit difficult, but alhamdulillah things went.
So now you've got like a bank of answers that you've researched over the last 6 years or so. And do you, I mean, when it comes to your preparation, do you have to regularly update yourself with the latest kind of rulings, or are the rulings set in stone and you just need to remember them? So how does it work when it comes to your preparation and the research, the amount of research that you have to put into the show?
It's the same as those who memorize Quran, for example. They have to memorize at least 2-3 ayah every day.
Okay.
They can keep on with the memorizing of the Quran. So same thing, I have to check at least 1 or 2 mas'ala a day. And I've got the app, the program that comes up, pops up like questions and answers of the ulama. So I have to keep on the track of all the questions, different rulings. So I have to make sure that I read every day a couple of masail.
Are you obliged to give the responses of different maraji'? Or
no, unless they ask. If they ask.
If
they say I follow Ayatollah Rouhani or Khurasani, for example, I have to find out the answer. If I know it, I would answer. Otherwise, I have to go back and come back with the answer next day or next.
But your default answer is from, say, Sadiq Shirazi.
And Ayatollah Sistani as well.
And Ayatollah Sistani.
Yes,
so it's
because the majority would follow those two individuals.
I see. So unless the question comes and it specifically says, are there questions that come says like, I want to know from this person's perspective?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, 100%. If the Sheikh can answer, he will on the spot. If not, we have to refer back to either the representatives or the actual office itself. And sometimes it can take time. I remember Sheikh, there's some questions. It took Sheikh, I think, a week and a half to get a response, because they were very, very delicate and specific. I can't remember the question. It was very, very specific, and it took about a week and a half for the answer to come back.
So how do you then obtain some of the questions?
So viewers
by the way, to Ben, I say Ben Kalamkum, in between your talk, Sheikh Fadhil chai is ready.
Ahsant.
Sayyid.
Ahsant.
I'll thank you.
Whilst he's talking,
so the viewers watch, and we have, because we're live, we have a WhatsApp number at the bottom, which they can, a QR code, they can scan the QR code, it takes them straight to the WhatsApp page, or they can dial the number if they want, send it via WhatsApp. If they're watching on Facebook Live or they're watching on YouTube, they can put their questions in the comment section. And then the technical team normally send it to my iPad, and I ask that way, or they can telephone in. And we've had recently, especially this Ramadan, a lot of phone calls from abroad. Middle East. We've had from Kuwait. There's a brother that keeps calling. That's not bad.
Very confused.
No. Well, actually, He's got good questions. He's got really good questions. We've had calls from Canada.
I think the other one was from Philippines, was it?
Philippines.
Once, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Yes, Sheikh.
What are the nature of these questions? Are they proper fiqhi, like are they really jurisprudential, or?
I think with Sheikh, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have seasonal questions. So Ramadan, everyone wants to talk about Ramadan.
Okay.
Muharram, everybody wants to know about Muharram and Arba'in.
So give me a typical question about like Ramadan that you get.
Ramadan.
Other than, please don't tell me what invalidates the siyam.
No, that's the least one.
Oh, that's the least. Okay. Good.
The most common one I think is either moon sighting. Fulan says this, Fulan says that. Yeah. Do I follow? Do I not follow? And also traveling. If I have to travel, does my fast pay, or do I get to keep it? And things like that. So
Sheikh, how do you find the time to do all the research? Because you have other obligations as well, especially when it comes to the channel. How do you find the time to do all this research?
Well, it began from my early ages of like teenager when I started to study. We had mini hawza, I think in the previous Rasul Azam curriculum, if you remember.
Yeah.
We had every Saturday we had like a mini hawza. I mean, the Sheikh of the center, he brought the books of the books of the hawza from Qom, Shara' al-Islam, Mantiq, Aqaid, and then we had started to gradually to study the basics of the Ahkam, Aqaid, and so forth. That was in 1999.
1999.
Yeah,
Mashallah.
Young lad in that time.
Mashallah.
And then moved towards 2006, where I started to study in deep.
Okay.
Aqaid and Ahkam, both in line together. And then later on, I went to the city of Damascus. Sayyidina alayhi salam, the outskirts of the city, for the proper house study.
Your uncle, I know he lived in Damascus. What's his name again? Sheikh something Ma'ash.
Sheikh Jalal Ma'ash.
Sheikh Jalal Ma'ash. Yes.
Your father's friends.
Yes. I spent some time. Actually, funny story. I was left alone in Syria. Not left alone in Syria. As in, my family went to Syria. I was with them, and I think I, for some reason, had a flight after them by like 24 hours. I was young. I don't know why they did that at the time. I don't know what happened.
Probably cheaper.
Maybe. But I had to stay in Sheikh Jalal's house.
Yes.
And at the time, obviously, I knew him and we got along. He had a son as well, didn't he?
Sheikh Mahdi. Now he's
a Sheikh, mashallah.
Now, mashallah.
Yes. So anyway, I missed, or he was supposed to take me to the airport. We missed the flight leaving London. So I had to stay another 3 days with the Sheikh. Until now, I follow him on his socials and I find out what he's doing. I think is he in Scandinavia somewhere, Denmark maybe, or something like that. Or he visits regularly.
Now
Denmark.
He is in Beirut, but between Beirut and Qom.
I see.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, if he ever watches the show, thank you very much for the 3 days that you hosted me, Sheikh Jalal. Really, really appreciate it. I don't know if he understands. He understands English, right? Limited.
So.
And anyway, shukran Sheikhna listidha
Fatikum.
For those 3 days, thank you very much, Sheikhna, and of course, salams to your son, Mehdi. So yeah, at that time, you were in Damascus, you did a lot of research. So how did that then progress until now?
Well, when I came back, of course, we had a proper syllabus to study from fiqh, from Arabic language, syntax, nahu, sarf, as you know. Shara' al-Islam, famous book of the fiqh. Other books we studied as well, and those 1 or 2 years. And then I came back to London, continued my studies, self-study as well. Until now, I have continuously study every day.
Okay.
I have a syllabus, follow that syllabus, that curriculum, in other words. Fiqh, aqaid, not only fiqh, aqaid as well. So, because people demand it. I remember once when I was reading a book about Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. Is she buried in Sham or Cairo?
Yeah.
The whole book took me like 3 weeks to finish it.
Wow.
And somebody called asking where she's buried.
And you had
I said,
ready.
Imagine 3 weeks.
You had it ready.
You read it for 3 weeks, and the answer is only 30 seconds, 1 minute.
Yeah.
And I said to them, well, according to research I've read, the Zainab who is buried in Cairo, she's Zainab bint Yahya. One of the descendants from Imam Hassan, I think, alayhi salam.
Okay.
Not Zainab al-Kubra, alayhi salam.
Zainab al-Kubra. Okay, fantastic.
There's no sons of Ali alayhi salam who came, or daughters who came to Cairo.
Knowing you personally, obviously, Sheikhna, you give off a very professional, and you don't want to get drawn into Sayyid Muhsin's personality of like being jokes and stuff like that. So how much do you have to like curb that side of you as much as you can? Because we see some videos and of you just kind of, you know what, breaking the barriers a bit and just, you know, just letting loose and being yourself. How much do you actually have to say, you know what, let's just be professional and try?
I mean, it was difficult at the beginning. I used to get told off. I used to get told off for smiling a lot.
No way.
I used to get told off for smiling. I'm like, I'm always smiling, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's fake, it's serious.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then once we went live, I think I was a little bit more flexible with me.
Yeah.
And we got a really, really good producer, Muhammad Fahad. Really, yeah. He gave me a lot of room that, listen, we need to start doing more on social media, we need to start doing TikToks, we need to start doing this and that. And from there, I was allowed to be a bit more myself.
Because I think it gives off a very good yin and yang, black and white kind of
Yeah,
dynamic.
I think it works well. And there's so many questions that tick me off, especially the one on dreams.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a dream they want us to interpret.
You guys don't have to interpret dreams.
Exactly, we're not dream interpreters.
Okay.
Please. But they're like, Sheikh, I had this dream. What does it mean? I had that dream and I saw this in my dream. I'm like, yeah, just stay off the mushrooms. But you know what I mean? we focus on fiqh. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
You know what? This is not Ahkam SOS. I don't mind. You're dropping those little lines. Oh, that is amazing.
You know, please ask us what's halal and haram.
All right, cool. On a more serious note, Sheikhna, after the break, I'm going to ask you about the application of these laws. Is there tasahul in our society? Because generation after generation, I think our fathers, my father, your family, I guess my family as well, probably your family as well, I'm not sure. We're really much into jurisprudence and fiqh and hawza and Islamic seminaries. And so, you know, my generation, we do take that side of life seriously. But is there a notion where, you know what, like this meat, is it halal? Yeah, the scholars said as long as it's halal on the screen, we can eat. There's a lot of tasahul. Let's brush things under the carpet. So after the break, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk serious talk with Sayyid Muhsin and Sheikh Ali, and especially discussing the application of Islamic jurisprudence in modern society. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
Jiddu, I need to tell you a secret. I had an exam today and I cheated on the exam, and to be honest, I feel like it's eating me up inside as if it's haram.
Your father used to do the exact something and would always get in trouble. But you have done it now and cannot go back. I don't know if it is haram.
Thanks, Jiddu.
Cough. I don't want to cough.
Just keep it. Jiddu, I wanted to ask if it's halal to buy lottery tickets. They're so cheap and we could make a lot of money.
I don't know if it is halal or haram, but never think about something like that again.
Okay, I was just asking. Jiddu.
Ta'abitni, what do you want now?
I just wanted to ask if the sweet has beef gelatin is halal or haram.
You're supposed to check it before buying it, not after. I don't know if this is halal or haram.
Okay.
What now? I am trying to relax. Why do you keep asking me? تعال هنا الخاطر الله. Just go watch Ahkam SOS. Any question you have, they can answer you. You can call them, message them, anything. Ask as much as you like. They can answer any question from any marja, okay?
That we were going live, but we are live now. So, welcome back, dear viewers of Morning Baraka Suhoor Special. If you've just joined us, we are joined by the stars of Ahkam SOS, which means I am joined on the couch, if you want to go wide now, by Sayyid Muhsin Shah and the esteemed Sheikh Ali Ma'ash, who have been, I don't know the grammar, it's late in the morning, early in the morning, late in the day. They've been on Ahkam SOS for the last 6 years, since 2017. and their inception in December or Christmas time 2017. Essentially, we talked about the dynamics of the show and the research, the amount of research that Sheikh has to put into Ahkam SOS. Sayyid Mohsin just turns up and asks the question, right? Is that how it works with you? Do you have to do any research?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do.
You do?
Basically, I don't have to do
yeah. Go on then.
So the reason how I got the job was because obviously I was a Hausa student and obviously I've studied fiqh at a really good level. So they picked me because I could help the Sheikh out. I could understand some of the questions and then I'd know half of the answers anyway. Let's steer the conversation that way or this way or so forth, so I can help out. But my main job is I'll come in, I'll see Sheikh, and while Sheikh is answering questions, I have to go through and filter some of them because some of them are not suitable for television. So I have to filter, and that's my main job.
Sheikh, now I wanted to, I guess on a more serious note, if we talk kind of the application of these laws, the Islamic laws, the application of them and how to apply them into our day. How important are these laws to implement into our lives?
We go back to the Holy Quran as the main source of the Sharia rulings, and of course the Sunnah of the Prophet and his progeny and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, in terms of the hadith and narrations. So you see that the Holy Quran emphasizes on the word taqwa, fattaqullah, and even the riwayat and narrations emphasize on ayyuhan nas taqullah. Taqwa means to implement the wajib acts and refrain from the forbidden acts.
Okay.
Wajibat, muharramat. And those two elements come from the Sharia, from the Quran and the Hadith.
Right.
So these are the main sources. Without implementing these rulings, you can't gain that status of being as a mu'min and mu'mina. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. So when it comes to forbidding alcohol, forbidding gambling, forbidding adultery and other forbidden acts, there's a reason, there's a hikmah for it, there's a wisdom behind it to protect the society from corruption, from destruction. So there's a need for these ahkam to be implemented by the human being, and we've seen this by other religions as well.
Yeah.
And others, they have their own ahkam as well,
of course.
Wajib, haram, and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's something we need.
So then what do you say to those that do tasahul with these laws? They are needed to govern our way of life, because if they're not around, what happens? Sayyid Mohsin, actually, if these laws are not around, it's chaos.
Indeed, I think one thing I'd like to add on to what Sheikh was saying as well is that following these laws, helps purify our hearts. Sinning this, it starts off as a black dot on your heart, and then your heart goes dark. It purifies the heart. It helps you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end of the day, we are following God's will. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do, that's what we're doing. And when it comes to new laws, because obviously we can't have the likes of the Prophet and the Imam with us today, and we have so many new issues that are turning up every day, whether it's cloning, stem cell research, cryptocurrency.
Wow.
These are modern day fiqh questions that people are asking, and they need answers. So we as Muslims that would like to submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to know what the rules are for us to guide us, so that number one, we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and secondly, like you said, that there is some organization on this earth, that we don't go, because if we were to follow our own desires, then what's the difference between us and animals? There is none.
Absolutely.
It's intelligence and intellect that separates us.
So then, Sheikh, now what would you say to those that make light of these laws and just brush them under the carpet? What would you say to them?
No, we have a tasahul. You see, the Holy Quran states, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. Allah would like ease for you, not usr. It's a religion of yusr. That's why the one who is fasting, if they travel, they can open the fast. If they're ill, pregnant, and so forth, they can break the fast, open the fast, and make up later. So there's a yusr in the religion, but some ahkam you cannot take it lightly. I've got questions coming in the past couple of years that I work in a company, non-Muslim company, and I work in the sales department.
Okay.
I've got people coming, male, females, they want to shake hands. What shall I do? So, yes, it is a religion of yusr and tasahul, but not for every aspect.
Yeah.
You have to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You have to change your job for something that suits your religion.
Yeah.
You have to appreciate the
or find the solution within that.
Exactly,
Yeah, within that.
So
okay.
we have to balance it.
We have to balance it out. Anything you want to say to Sahil? People that just make.
I mean,
like for example, that's a really good example. Like people just do it and they think, you know, is it really that bad? I just shook someone's hand.
Yeah, I'm compelled, for example.
Yeah, I think you know what I think it's a lot more difficult here in the West because they have a different standard to us. They don't see the issue with, you know, opposite gender shaking hands or dressing down and showing off more skin, or you know, and in the corporate world it's very difficult for a Muslim because there's a lot of mixed gatherings, there's a lot of alcohol and stuff, and you know, if you were to say no, they think, oh, why don't you want to get involved? You know, you're not really a team player. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if I was an ex-alcoholic and I'm recovered now, would you offer me the drink? No, you wouldn't. You show me a bit more respect, wouldn't you? So there's always that battle here in the West, and I think it's very, very difficult here. And yes, I can put my hands up. A lot of people are a lot of Muslims are desensitized to some Islamic laws because they live here in the West.
So then, Sheikhna, things like modern day issues like cryptocurrency, for example, how do the Marajat themselves, are they aware of what's going on? Because a lot of people will say, you know what, these people live in their own bubble, and I'll put my hands up, and this is what I've heard. So some of the Marajat, they live in these Islamic lands. They're all surrounded by Islamic people. They live by the shrines. Of course, they're dedicating their life to research, but are they up to date with what's going on in modern society?
Yes, indeed. But sometimes you see the opinions would be different. You know, ara would be different. For example, you might see one marja saying, as a precaution, don't do it. Others would say, no, it's forbidden complete as a fatwa. Others would say, no, it's permissible. It's a transaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's permissible. So you have this difference between the ara and the opinions of the ulama, according to the extraction of the hukm from the source.
Are they aware of what's going on in modern society?
Yes,
they are aware.
Yes.
How do they become aware?
Because they have a team of researchers behind the doors.
Okay.
And they would offer the information to the marja.
All right, fantastic.
About masail,
fantastic stuff. Okay. Lastly, when it comes to Ahkam SOS, any not funny, but like any story. Actually, was there ever a question, Sheikhna, that came up to you like, you know what? Oh, I don't really know, but I have to go find out. And do you remember that question?
To be honest, half of the knowledge is to say I don't know. لا أدري.
Okay.
نصف العلم أن تقول لا أدري.
Okay.
So to answer a question that you don't know, that's a sin. That's a crime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a punishment for those who give fatwa or issue a verdict without knowledge.
Without actually knowing. Okay.
So that's why I would stop if there's a question I don't know. I would say I'll check. I would refer back to the Sheikh would check. So it's like 9 out of 10 we answer.
All right.
Roughly 8, 9 out of 10.
Well, since we're answering a lot of questions, I thought I'm going to spring a quiz on you guys.
Fantastic.
Because it turns out you've also been to Hawza. Sheikh has done years and years of study. So I'm going to go one for one. It's a very light quiz. Don't worry, it's not too deep. Very, very light. I'm not going to...
Any thick questions?
No. Sorry, just history and Islam, basically. Most of them are Prophet related. So you should be okay. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by asking you the first question, which is, what is the name given to a person who leads Salah?
Me or the shit?
No. I said I'm not going to insult your intelligence by asking you that question, because obviously both of you know what the answer is, right? What's the person? What is the name given to the person?
Imam Jama'ah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The Prophet, Sheikhna, predicted that one of his companions will live long and meet the fifth descendant of the Prophet, Muhammad al-Baqir. What was the name of this companion?
Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari.
Fantastic.
And to convey the salam of the Prophet to
my guy, he added a little salt and spice onto that. Perfect. What is the location of the house of Prophet Ismail near the Holy Kaaba called?
Bayt al-Ismail?
No. Sheikhna, do you know?
Hijr Ismail.
Hijr Ismail is the correct answer.
Okay.
Well done. Sheikhna, true or false, Prophet Ayyub is the grandson of Prophet Ishaq?
I'm not sure.
Okay. نصف العلم شنو؟
لا أدري.
لا أدري. All right, cool. I like that. نصف العلم لا أدري. Do you know what the answer is? Is it true or false? 50-50.
I think it's not false. I think he's older than.
Well, I've got here true.
Okay.
Prophet Ayyub is the grandson of Prophet Ishaq.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I thought it was the other way. Fair enough.
Is there a VAR check that we can have just in case?
You're probably right. Well, I don't know.
Prophet Ayub.
Depends you got it off.
Prophet Ayub is the grandson of Prophet Ishaq. Let's check that. Whilst the VAR check is going on, what is the mount where the cave of Hira is called? What's the mount called where cave of Hira is located?
Are you serious?
Oh my, is it that easy?
You don't know. You're asking me the cave of, what's the name of the mountain where the cave of Hira is?
Yeah.
It's the Hira mountain.
No.
Is it not?
No.
Jabal al-Rahma?
No, 1 second. Because cave is Ghar Hira.
Yeah.
Now the cave is located on a mountain.
Yeah.
What's that mountain called?
And it's not Mount Hira?
No.
Why is it not Mount Hira?
Because Hira is the cave. It can't be the whole mountain. There's a name for that mountain.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not called Mount Hira, where the Prophet used to go and meditate, and that's where
he used to meditate in the cave of Hira.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the mountain has a different name?
Yeah, the mountain has a different name.
I'm not even joking to you. The textbooks will tell you it's called Mount Hira.
Is it?
Yeah. The textbooks will tell you it's called Mount Hira.
VAR times
go on,
two,
go on.
please.
Tell me what's the answer. What's your answer?
I got Jabal Noor.
Jabal Noor?
Yeah.
Is that another name for it, Sheikhna?
I think, yeah.
It's not called Mount Hira at all.
What is the
Jabal
name
Noor.
of
I remember.
the mountain where the cave of Hira is located? On the spot, VAR check, Jabal Noor, I was right.
Ahsant.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll appeal to the FA.
Yeah. Well, you learn something every day. Morning Baraka as well. You learn something cool. Sheikhna, who was sent to the people of Nainawa, Babylon?
Oh.
Ibrahim alayhi salam.
Who?
Ibrahim alayhi salam.
Ibrahim is the correct answer. He was born there, but Prophet Yunus as well. He was sent there too. All right, another mountain. What is the name of the cave where the Prophet hid from his enemies when migrating to Medina? Sheikhna can add some spice to that as well after.
But that's where the spider came down.
Yeah, well, I was going to wait for Sheikh to give you that.
Yeah, the spider came down.
Yeah. Spider and the nest,
and
the
then
bird's
there was
nest.
some hypocrite that was with him as well.
Yeah. لا تخف إن الله معنا.
I'm not sure what the name is.
Or لا تحزن إن الله معنا.
What's it called, Sheikh?
I think it's like animal's name.
Is it?
Oh, close.
Yeah.
Close.
Animal's name.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ankabut. I'll call it the cave of Ankabut, but no.
No. It's something
Any
else.
answers? No. It's called the Cave of Thor.
Thor, yeah.
Thor? What's a Thor?
Ox.
Is it?
Thor?
Is it ox?
Ox, yeah.
Why is it called that?
I don't know.
Arabic.
This one's a fairly simple one. I'll leave it to both of you to answer. Which mosque is where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was commanded to change the Qibla from Masjid al-Aqsa to Holy Kaaba?
I'll say it. Try your best.
Where he changed it?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Masjid al-Aqsa?
No, so the Qibla was towards Masjid al-Aqsa.
Yeah,
that's in Jerusalem.
Oh, they told him to shift
To Mecca.
I don't know.
You don't know?
There's a Qibla and there's a Qiblatain.
Okay. Qibla, no. So it's
Qiblatain.
Qiblatain, yeah.
Yeah.
Masjid Qiblatain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And last one, where is the grave of Lady Hawa located?
Interesting.
Which modern day country?
The wife of Adam.
Yeah.
Hazrat Adam is buried in Najaf, huh?
Yeah.
And
Adam is buried in Najaf.
His son is in Syria.
Yeah. So that means their
Abu
families
is
all
in
over the
Syria.
place.
Yeah.
They
So
met in
where
Sri
is
Lanka. You know, it's true though. It's true.
I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It is true.
So where is the
Hazrat
grave
Adam is
of
from
Lady?
Sri Lanka,
Where is the
believe it or
grave of Lady Hawa located?
There's a city close to
Stonehenge?
Mecca.
I don't know.
Oh, so you know Sheikhna?
A city close to Mecca.
Oh, Sheikhna knows.
Close to Mecca.
Yeah.
Jeddah.
Yeah.
What does the Jeddah means?
What does Jeddah mean?
Jeddah.
Like grandmother.
Gram?
Oh, is that why it's called Jeddah?
Yeah,
Because she's our grandmother.
Grandma.
She's everyone's grandma.
As in, yeah, everyone's grandmother.
Jeddah.
Jeddah.
Wow, I didn't know. So you learn something new every day. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both, the stars of Ahkam SOS, Sayyid Mohsin, Sheikh Ali. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. And inshallah, when is the next episode that we're looking forward to?
In about
12 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12. It's a bit more than that. It's about 17 hours.
Exactly.
18 hours.
All right, fantastic.
Inshallah.
So
Live.
it's on, basically it's on tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. Imam Hussein TV 3. Please send in your questions.
Send in your questions to Ahkam SOS. Brilliant. So that's a wrap for Ahkam SOS, dear brothers and sisters. We're going to go to a small break. After the break, here's what's coming up. Or maybe not. We are going to speak to Sheikh Ibrahim Ansari for Speakers Insights. So don't go anywhere. He is on the line right now live.
They ask, why has no other sign been sent down to him from his Lord? Say, O Prophet, the knowledge of the unseen is with Allah alone. So wait, I too am waiting with you. The awaited, in the shadows of chaos, a beacon of light. With faith as his armor and justice as his sword, he leads the righteous. In a world of darkness, he shines as the guiding light of truth. With every step, a new era of justice and righteousness. Join me as we uncover untold truths about the life and legacy of Imam al-Mahdi al-Muntadhar, exclusively on Imam Hussein TV, The Awaited. Join me as we uncover untold truths about the life and legacy of Imam al-Mahdi al-Muntadhar, exclusively on Imam Hussein TV, The Awaited.
Welcome back, dear viewers, to Morning Baraka Suhoor Special, exclusively live on Imam Hussein TV 3. The time is now 3:12 a.m., which means we are on to our next segment of the show. Ramadan is typically one of the most busiest months for our speakers and scholars who have dedicated their lives to learning about our beautiful faith, digesting it and disseminating it in a way that you and I can learn and better our faith in Islam. Did we ever wonder, however, what is the planning process for these international speakers? Do we ever wonder what goes through their minds when choosing certain topics? Well, we reveal all in this exclusive news segment to Morning Baraka, Speakers Insights. Today I have on the line dear friend and international speaker, Sheikh Ibrahim Ansari. I hope he's on the line. Sheikh, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, fantastic. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sheikhna, first and foremost, I'd love to ask about your health. I hope you're feeling okay.
Alhamdulillah, much better, inshallah.
Yeah.
With the blessings of Allah.
Inshallah. Inshallah, Sheikhna. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I appreciate it is quite late. I didn't want to bring you into the studio because of your health. And I'm going to ask the dear viewers at home to pray for you and inshallah a speedy recovery. First of all, Sheikhna, what are your plans for this Ramadan? Where will you be reciting inshallah?
Inshallah for the second 2 weeks I'll be going to Cardiff, Imam Ali Center, inshallah.
Okay.
For the first 2 weeks, as you know, I decided to stay in London.
Yeah.
Catching up with the family and friends.
Nice.
And I took a few majalis here and there, of which, for example, on Wednesday I'll be going to Scotland just for the one night.
Okay.
Yeah, so
are you going after Dhuhr?
To roam around. Sorry?
Are you going after Dhuhr?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
going
good.
after Dhuhr and I'm coming back before Dhuhr the next day.
Before Dhuhr the next day to keep your fast. Fantastic. Okay, so Cardiff, have you been there before to that community?
I've actually recited 3 Muharrams there.
Oh, mashallah. So when it comes, Shaykhna, when it comes to a new community, what is essentially your thought process before going to that community? Do you just accept the invitation and go, hoping everything's going to be okay, or how does it work?
You want me to be completely honest with you, Mulla?
Well, of course, Shaykhna. Ramadan.
So basically, usually we get the invite, and I'll just find out more about the centre. Who's, for example, in charge of the centre? Who were the previous speakers? Usually it will be like friends that I can contact that have been there or that know the organisers.
Yeah.
And then essentially it all goes back to istikhara for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For every single invitation?
Most invitations, I would say yes. About 99% of them.
MashaAllah. How comes?
Do you know, this is actually a personal preference situation. Some speakers will tell you they would never do such a thing. Personally, I just find it to my mind that ease sometimes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tawakkul ala Allah.
Especially when you get, sometimes you get, for example, multiple invites, or you get an invite and you're not sure if you're going to be around.
Okay.
You're not sure if you're going to be able to make it during that time. For example, when I'm in Iraq, I'm not really sure when I'm actually coming back to London yet.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll take an istikhara to just decide if I should, for example, bring my return trip forward or something like that. And usually it'll be because of a thing like that. Or if it's a new community that I don't know much about. So I've been invited, for example, once to a community. It was their first ever English Majlis. The community itself has been established for about 20 years, but no one knows them.
Okay.
So obviously for someone like me to just jump into the deep end there might not always be the best option.
Absolutely.
Especially when you don't know what's going on there.
Makes sense.
Istikhara turned out bad. I said, look, I apologize, I won't be able to make it. And for one reason or another, which I won't mention on the live show, it turned out to be a very good choice.
Well, that makes sense, Shaykhna. But look, moving on, what is your opinion on how the timetable for Ramadan has kind of changed for speakers, you know, where you have 10 days or 15 days at one center. I've even heard some speakers doing 5 days, and I've seen some adverts for centers. They have 3 speakers, so they have like 10, 10, 10. What's your view on how things have changed?
So personally, I think the 30-day option in general, having 30 days of majalis in a center is excellent.
Okay.
Because Ramadan is obviously those types of months where the spirituality is reignited, people are trying to get closer to Allah, and this is one way in which they can do such a thing.
Absolutely.
Having more than one speaker sometimes also keeps the crowd engaged.
Okay.
So I've had invites, for example, for 30 days in Ramadan. I've rejected every single one of them without doing istikhara. I just think 30 days with one speaker is too much. Just because the crowd wants to stay engaged, the crowd doesn't want to get bored. Not saying that the crowd would necessarily get bored from a speaker. Sometimes they're hungry, for example, for a specific speaker, or they're hungry for specific types of topics.
Yeah.
But even then, when you give them different types of speakers, it does something different. Because at the end of the day, no matter how good of a speaker you are, you're not going to engage 100% of the crowd.
Okay.
Those 10% that you might have missed, speaker number 2 will fill that for you. And I think that is quite beautiful, because at the end of the day, we complete one another, and that's how we should try to be.
100%.
That's from that aspect. From another aspect, it also makes it easier for speakers, for example. In the first 2 weeks, I don't take majalis. I'm in a constant majlis. Because being in Najaf also keeps me away from, for example, family and friends. So those first 2 weeks, I use it to catch up, see some family. I'll take a few majalis here and there, because obviously you don't want to, if you get an invite, for example, Fatih the Khadija, you don't want to reject it, or Fatih Abu Talib, you're not going to reject it.
Of course.
But to take 2 weeks out of London, and then another 2 weeks out of London, and then Muharram and Safar, you're not around, it basically means you don't see family for the whole year.
Absolutely.
So I keep that 2 weeks of Shahr Ramadan there, then the 15 days there. As for what you said, Mulla, about the 10 days, at the end of the day, we also want to keep our fasts.
Okay.
Because, for example, I'm going to Cardiff. They said, for example, what are you thinking about your Majal? First, they invited for 30 days. And I said, sorry, I can't do 30 days. So they said, how many days do you want to do? I said, it's up to you, but a minimum 10 to maximum 15.
Okay. So they
The
said
minimum 10 is just so that I can keep my fasts.
Sahih.
Because trust me, making up 5 days. So you've got a speaker, for example, he said that comes for 5 days. 5 days, making that up in December, although you think the hours are short,
but it's still hard.
It's a long process.
So lastly, Shaykhna, I mean, in terms of, very quickly, in terms of your topics for this Ramadan, you know, how do you come up with the decisions to pick these particular topics?
That's a good question, actually. Usually, again, when I'm invited, you would know this, for example, I've had the blessing of reciting at Haraka, for example. I would message the organizers and I would ask them, what do you feel your community wants or needs? And I make a very clear difference between the want and between the need.
Okay.
The want is, for example, the community is saying on the question you put up on Instagram, what would you like to hear this Muharram, this Ramadan? 1, 2, 3. What do they need though? As an organizer, you should know what the community needs. You know what they're lacking in, for example. I'll get that sent to me. I will also have my own analysis that I've done throughout the year from talking to people, from what I've gone through in terms of the wants and the needs. Then obviously we prioritize the needs while including the wants within the needs.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah, that does.
So then it is an idea of how do I decide that I'm going to take this, for example, for Shahr Ramadan. I find some topics are not always suitable for the month of Muharram. And I would then prioritize them for Shahr Ramadan. Because Shahr Ramadan is much more broad. You have the happy occasions, you have the sad occasions, and you have the neutral occasions, if you like. So you've got a very big variety. You've got all these days in which you remember the Quran. You can do a nice deep analysis of the Quran, which for Muharram would be too heavy when you're trying to listen to Masa'ib. So for example, I prioritize these and that. Then, surprise, surprise, Mulla, that my last step is once I've decided on them, is an istikhara on the 10 nights.
Amazing stuff, wallah. Amazing stuff. Look, Shaykhna, time is not permitting for us to carry on this kind of conversation. I love it though, but thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it, and I wish you a speedy recovery.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair jazak.
Thank you. So that was Shaykh Ibrahim Ansari giving us an insight, a very interesting insight into his personal journey when it comes to reciting in different communities. And surprise, surprise, istikhara is quite key for Shaykh Ibrahim Ansari. Now, moving on, Suhoor special on Morning Baraka. I'm dedicating, as ever, every episode, a portion of each episode, to reflect on the Quran. We have just entered the 8th of Ramadan. When I researched this particular juz', I found that the juz' contains the last 55 verses of Surah Al-An'am and the first 87 verses of Surah Al-A'raf. The main themes of Surah Al-An'am actually include critiques of pagan and polytheistic practices, as well as explanations of the basic tenets of Islam, namely Tawheed, the oneness of God, Nubuwwah, prophecy or prophethood, and Ma'ad, which is resurrection. While Surah Al-An'am is a Meccan surah, and as such does not explore topics of Islamic law in detail the same way the Medinian surahs do, it does mention some general concepts of law and the basic Sharia that was revealed to all of the prophets. We see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala critiques the practices and laws that took place in pre-Islamic Arabia, and he critiques their ethical foundation, calling them baseless. Because from verses 136 to 146 in Surah Al-An'am, there is a lengthy description of how the polytheistic non-Muslims had devised their own rules for sacrificing animals. Among these verses, cattle are mentioned as one of the animals that were sacrificed, and that is where the chapter takes its name, An'am. Note verses 138 to 140. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَقَالُوا هَذِهِ أَنْعَامٌ وَحَرْثٌ حِجْرٌ لَا يَطْعَمُهَا إِلَّا مَنْ نَشَاء. They say these cattle and crops are reserved, none may eat them except those we permit. Lastly, except those we permit. Lastly, when it comes to this particular juz' and this particular chapter, the ending, a particular verse that we all use when standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in prayer. Just before we start, we say, قُلْ Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. Say, surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, Lord of all the worlds. Now, before we go to the dua, I should mention that this special set has been provided generously by Ocean Link Construct. Basically, everything you see has been designed and built by this local company who operates within the Greater London area. They've got 35 years plus experience when it comes to design and planning and extension and full renovation. And this beautiful conservatory has been converted into an outdoor lounge. It's just one of their many projects that they do. Details are on your screen, or should have been on your screen, so do contact them for further inquiries. Now, lastly, I usually end the program with a specific dua from Dua Sabah. However, throughout this series, I want to end with a specific dua of the day of Ramadan. Today, as we have entered into the 8th day, the dua is as follows. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma arzuqni fihi rahmat al-aytam wa ta'am al-ta'am wa afsha al-salam وصحبة الكرام بطولك يا ملجأ الآملين. Lord, grant me in it the mercy due to orphans, to be able to give away food, to disseminate the peace, to accompany the good ones through your own favors, O haven of the hopeful. I leave you with the dua. وقف السائلون. The beseechers have stood at your door, recited by Hajj Amr al-Kadhimi. And inshallah we'll see you in the next episode on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد إلهي وقف السائلون ببابك ولاذ الفقراء بجنابك ووقفت سفينة المساكين على ساحل بحر جودك وكرمك ويرجون الجواز إلى ساحة رحمتك إلهي إن كنت لا ترحم في هذا الشهر الشريف إلا من أخلص لك في صيامه وقيامه فمن للمذنب المقصر إذا غرق في بحر ذنوبه وآثامه إلهي إن كنت لا ترحمه إلا المطيعين فمن للعاصين وإن كنت لا تقبل إلا من العاملين فمن للمقصرين إلهي ربح الصائمون وفاز القائمون ونجا المخلصون ونحن عبيدك المذنبون فارحمنا برحمتك وأعتقنا من النار بعفوك واغفر لنا ذنوبنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فأدخلنا وفي عليين فارفعنا و